Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Lights on Data show. Today, we're really diving into a topic that's reshaping the way businesses approach mainframe modernization. And because of that, our episode is aptly named Unlocking IBM watsonx and Code Assistant for Z with IBM and Novi Pro. And we're really going to focus on how Novi Pro, which is a leader in the IBM Z series platform space, and IBM are working together to breathe new life into legacy systems and really help businesses navigate this technological transition, which is not easy to do at times. Hi, everybody. I'm George Firican, your host, and I'm really thrilled to be speaking with these three experts in their field. First, we have Steve Small from Novi Pro. Welcome, Steve.
Good morning. Thanks for having us, George.
The pleasure is all mine. Now, Steve, you're representing the broader Novi Pro Group ecosystem, and you're serving as a director of sales at Blair Technology Solutions. Welcome again. And then we have Hussein Shamshidin. Welcome, Hussein.
Thank you.
You're the lead product manager for IBM Watson Code Assistant for Z. Welcome. Okay. And Francois Morin, IBM Channel Partner Manager for Novi Pro Group. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to be covering everything from how businesses can modernize their infrastructure to how the Novi Pro and IBM partnership is driving innovation across North America. And I'm really excited to really learn more about all of this. But first, I really want to dive into how could AI tools help breathe new life into mainframe platforms while supporting your clients' modernization efforts. I'll pass this on to Steve.
Yeah, thanks for letting me start off with that one, George. We're really at this point in time across the IT industry where we're seeing the advancements that artificial intelligence is bringing across the board. We're virtually limitless in terms of the possibilities that are out there today. And, when we look at the mainframe platform, which of course has a rich history spanning many, many decades, it really couldn't be more exciting for this platform as well. And we're seeing a lot of different ways that we could potentially leverage AI to let clients take that next step forward in the evolution of this platform that's been around and at the heart of their businesses for so long. Just a couple of examples are, through training and document management and large language models to let newer people to the platform be able to get access to data and information much more readily, as opposed to having to rely on the skill sets that, frankly, in many cases could be getting on towards the back ends of their career. So that's just one area. Optimization around security, even though it's probably the most reliable secure platform in the IT industry, there's constant ways to potentially improve and automate some of that functionality, and AI is at the heart of that as well, which ties very tightly to operational management of the platform, automation, self-healing. These are some of the foundational elements that AI plays a big role in.
Right.
Another one that's front and center, both in province of Quebec through Law 25, as well as the Bill C-27 throughout the rest of Canada, is compliance and regulatory requirements. All companies that leverage IT are needing to figure out and how to adopt to policies and laws such as these. And I think AI plays a big role in how people can take that step forward. And of course, the one that's kind of more at the heart of this particular chat this morning is around code modernization. Again, this platform with its rich history has had multiple generations of developers developing code on it. Like all developers, not everyone likes to document. And therefore, for new people coming into the platform, trying to figure out what's occurred over the last 20, 30, 50 years, it's a real challenge. And IBM's come out with some really exciting technologies to help take that leap forward to both figure out what's already there, but then to allow folks to modernize and take the next step forward into the future.
Right. Yeah, that's really interesting, Steve. I've worked and interacted with many companies, and a lot of them do have that technical debt. And, for many reasons, it's not easy just to, let's say, get away from it. And it's really good to know that AI can help businesses modernize without their need to invest in a massive infrastructure overhaul. I do want to talk more about NoviPro's broader role in the space. So,
Mhm.
can you please tell me how NoviPro's positioning itself today as a major player in the IBM Z series platforms in Quebec and beyond?
Yeah, absolutely. NoviPro has been a business that's been in the Quebec marketplace for over 30 years. So well known, a real strong player in that space. And it was a couple of years ago that they sold their business to a group of investors who adopted the NoviPro Group name. The original entity remained as NoviPro Incorporated. And their vision was to expand on this solid platform of the company that has such a rich history. And in that same year, they made the acquisition of Blair Technology Solutions, which I'm part of. And together, we now have a breadth of knowledge and experience that spans Canada. The goal of the group and what their vision is for acquiring these two companies, and frankly, the plan is to acquire more, is really to allow us to expand where we are geographically, not only in Canada, but potentially into the United States and other markets in the future. But as well, equally importantly, is to bring to bear different solution sets that maybe one company is really solid in, but there's perhaps a gap in a marketplace where another company that's part of the group happens to serve. And that's exactly what we're talking about here with mainframe technology, IBM Z. Uh, NoviPro has been doing that since the beginning of their existence. Now, while Blair has been also an IBM business partner since our beginnings, 26, 28 years ago, it's not been in the IBM mainframe space. What this collaboration between the two companies does is allow us to expand this set of solutions and our expertise into new markets that are perhaps underserved. So that's what we're really excited about and looking forward to taking that next step together with our sister company, NoviPro.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Steve. It's really exciting to hear about NoviPro's strategic positioning and its growing presence in the IBM Z series ecosystem. Now, let's shift gears a little bit here and dive deeper into the technical aspects of this modernization journey. Hussein, you work closely with watsonx Code Assistant, which really plays that significant role in simplifying the mainframe modernization. What would you say, first of all, are some of the key challenges that businesses face today when it comes to modernizing mainframes?
Yeah, there are definitely many challenges. I think the first big one is one Steve already covered, which is around skills, right? You don't have too many mainframe developers coming out of university these days. Um, as well, you've got a workforce, as Steve said, with a rich history, but they're maybe transitioning into retirement over the coming years, and so that group of people is looking at who do I, you know, teach? Who's the next generation? Who do I pass the knowledge on to? And so, being able to bring tools and technology to help that transition is certainly an area clients are asking for help for. So that's number one would be skills. Number two, if you're modernizing, where do you even start? Right? The clients don't even know, right? Again, another point Steve made is that we have a legacy code base, you have applications that could have been written years or decades ago, and often layered, right? We call them Frankenstein, where, a developer came in, they did some work. 5 years later, some additional work was done, different style. 5 years later, some more work was done, right? So you have these very complex, critical applications that they weren't documented. They were built over years by multiple people, and clients simply don't know. I mean, they're running, which is great, but they don't know how, why, what are the impacts, right? So that's the other one is understanding. And then the third one I'll point out is risk, right? These are not simple web apps on, on a cloud service where, okay, if you make a mistake, roll it back, no big deal. A client has, a poor experience for 10 minutes. These are the applications that are running the world, right? Some of the most important transaction processing or data built off of those or applications that use that data, right? They're critical. And so risk is a key part. And they want to be able to modernize these applications using a low risk approach, right? So these are some, I would say, skills, understanding, and risk. That are some of the challenges that clients are facing today.
Yeah, well said. Great insights, Hussein. Very interesting that you mentioned the skills, and I guess I never really thought about it that way. That we're not, let's say, releasing into the field right after graduation so many people that know how to code in this, maybe let's say, legacy systems and work with mainframes, and maybe it's not as sexy as it used to be a few years ago, but hopefully and luckily we do have solutions that are helping us to address this gap.
Yes.
So like you said, modernizing legacy systems really certainly comes with its share of complexities. Now that we understand these main challenges, let's talk a little bit about watsonx code assistant and see how we can help solve these problems. So specifically, how does watsonx code assistant for Z assist in really breathing new life into the IBM Z series platforms? And also, I'm curious how NoviPro is integrating this into its clients' modernization efforts.
Yeah, I'll take the first part of that. So we're very proud of what we've built at IBM with watsonx Code Assistant for Z. Interestingly enough, tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary since we GA'd it, and so it's been a wonderful journey over the last year bringing it to clients. And so, what did we build, right? And it covers really the things I covered earlier, and Steve covered as well. We bring a full application lifecycle approach to app modernization, where we bring Gen AI into it selectively, right? AI is complicated. Not everyone has the skills, right? We don't expect people to become AI experts overnight. So we've done an incredible amount of work to bring AI into the right spaces. So let me talk about the spaces. First, understand, right? We have a set of capabilities around understanding your current application. That was one of the problems I talked about earlier. So you can go in, we do scans, dynamic scans, and you get a visual of what does your application do today, right? And again, that's opening up new insights that people don't know, both for existing people on the platform, as well as those new people we talked about that are coming in who might be tasked with, hey, you're going to now be responsible for this new application you've never seen. Okay, well, now at least they can understand it. So that's one of the capabilities. Then we have a secondary capability called refactor. And this is an important point because a lot of people, when they say app modernization, often their mind goes to, well, I'm going to take this application that may be written in COBOL or a different language, and I'm just going to convert it straight to Java. And there are tools out there that do that. However, if you take an application written in a 1970s style and you just simply convert the code, I would ask the question, have you modernized or did you just change the language? Right? And so our secondary capability, refactor, it helps clients break down those monoliths, right? So if you have a million line application, breaking it down into the business services that are easier to manage, that you can understand, right? And you refactor and you do a little bit of modernization in place in the language that you're using, right? Another capability is code explanation, so specifically around code. So I was talking about applications and the dependencies and all of that before, but specifically about the code itself. This is where we bring an LLM in, a large language model that we've tuned to understand the mainframe languages. Right, we've got COBOL and JCL today, with more coming, and so this will literally, you can highlight a piece of code or provide a file, and it will explain what does that code do in English, and really give you that understanding. So between these three capabilities I just mentioned, you haven't even really done too much modernization. But what you've got is a great understanding of what you've got today, and maybe you've taken those first few steps into refactoring it into a more easier to manage application. Then there's the next step for those clients. And by the way, some clients are happy with that. There's other clients who say, well, I want to go a little further. And so we bring another LLM in that's been highly trained on performing a COBOL to Java transformation, right? And we wrap that LLM with extensive pre and post processing. This is all that AI work I was talking about
Mhm.
before, where the client doesn't have to do it. We do it for you, right? So you don't have to be an AI expert. But now you're taking those steps from COBOL into Java. And then the last capability we have is validate. Okay, so I had COBOL. I now have Java. Are they the same? Do they do the same thing? And so our validate capability will tell you that, right? It runs tests in COBOL, JUnit tests in Java, and you get that validation. So you can see watsonx Code Assistant for Z or Z has um, the whole life cycle, right? It's more than just a code assistant where we're helping you generate code or explain code. We go through understand, we go through refactor. You can explain, right? Then if you want to transform, you can do that. The other one I didn't mention is an optimized feature, which we just brought out. So again, for those clients who are in COBOL, you may want to optimize, right? So we would take a look at your runtime and make your existing COBOL application run better, faster, whatever it may be. So a full suite of capabilities. I said a lot there. Hopefully everyone kept up, but a full set of capabilities to really help with the developers who are doing this modernization work. And then the second part of your question was around how is IBM and NovaPro working? I'll ask Francois to step in for that part.
Thank you, Same. So IBM and NoviPro have been in a partnership for a long time. NoviPro Group, which include Blair as well, are working together for growing the environment, knowing the customer's environment, and bringing up their skills to be able to deploy watsonx Code Assistant for ZAD. So this is an evolving relationship in terms of this newer product. But the relationship has been there for a long, long time, almost 30 years as an IBM partner. So we've got a lot of synergy between the two companies.
Sounds great. Um, this year I joined a couple of IBM conferences, and I was able to see quite a few demos of the Code Assistant, and I was in awe with what he could do. And uh, obviously, it was right off the bat, it just seemed like such a powerful tool for tackling these modernization projects. Now, I'd love to hear some real world examples as well from your experience of what you've seen so far. What kind of transformations have clients seen when adopting the watsonx Code Assistant for Z for their modernization projects?
Yeah, definitely. Good question. We're seeing really productivity gains, right? I mean, all code assistants, their primary purpose is around productivity, right? Ours is also focused on de-risking as well. That's hard to measure, but in terms of productivity, we did some early pilots with a bunch of different clients. We're seeing anywhere from 20 to 60% productivity improvements for those clients that are who use the tool versus do not. If I give you a more specific example, I can't mention the clients, but we have one client that gave us data that said, look, our developers, on average, they can do about 100 lines of code a day transformed. Right, so that's all the steps I talked about, right? Understanding it, explaining it, maybe doing a bit of refactor, and then we want to convert it to Java, right? So about 100 lines of code they could do a day without watsonx Code Assistant for Z. And we have another client that is actually working on it almost in production, I'll say, and they're just sort of getting ramped up. And they're seeing that their developers are able to do about 300 lines of code, right? So while I'm not going to claim a 300% improvement because different companies, different code bases, the point is even that same second client was seeing around 60%, if not more, productivity gains. And so these are really critical value proposition or a critical value proposition for those clients who are looking at these complex projects ahead of them, right? These are not short projects. These are things that are going to take, for some clients, the larger clients, 5, 10 years. If you can bring 20, 30, 40, even 60% productivity to a 10-year project, that's shaving years off the project. Think of the savings. And so this is why we have so many clients that are working with us today that are very excited about using watsonx Code Assistant for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hussein. I think that that example really highlights the impact of watsonx Code Assistant in transforming businesses. And I mean, it's sort of the gift that keeps on giving, in my opinion. It's not just the productivity gains that they're seeing there, but really the benefits of having that productivity and how they can invest their resources, their saved resources into other important projects. I mean, there's a lot of on
Mhm.
people's plate for sure. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the partnership that makes all of this possible. How do IBM and NoviPro work together to help companies succeed in this technological transition?
Yeah, I'll start that from our perspective and then turn to Francois. But both of us, both NoviPro and Blair, have been long-term IBM partners, so that's really at the foundation of this. Um, their solutions have been at the core of what we do in terms of our skill sets that we've developed and the ways in which we serve our current client markets, but also our ability to serve markets beyond where we're already reaching today. And I think that's what we're so encouraged about here, working together with NoviPro and IBM to be able to bring these capabilities forward. Um, Being one of IBM's largest partners has some benefits to it in terms of our scale, because we can make some creative investments in ways that will allow us to do things like skills transfer and provide educational opportunities in these, we'll say, are more mature markets where the injection of new skills together with new technologies really presents great opportunities for clients that up until this point may have thought that they needed to make other choices. So we're really at the forefront of some different paths that are available here. And, the continued partnership with IBM allows us to do that and bring that to bear to our client set. Francois?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. And as I stated before, IBM and NoviPro have been a very long term. The relationship has been for a long time, over 25 years that we've been partnering together in the Canadian space. NoviPro Group is a platinum partner, which is within IBM the highest level that you can achieve. And in Canada, in particular, this is a very small elite group. There's not a lot of partners that will reach this level of partnership. And this was a long time coming. We've been involved for, again, many, many years. We had many partnership through a lot of projects and discussions with customer, with a lot of different customer. And today we shift a bit of the discussion towards more AI because that's what we talked about more. So this partnership that was from the beginning mainframe now evolved to other products within the portfolio, and today AI is a very big part of that. And IBM go to market strategy is going through our partners. So there's a big portion of what we do is aimed at the partner so they understand what we have, what is in our portfolio, and the strength of our portfolio. And I think that's where we want to continue growing with the Novi Pro group.
Sounds great. From what you're saying, it's really clear that the synergy between IBM and the NoviPro group is really critical in driving that successful transformation that businesses are looking for. Of course, there's also the challenge of helping businesses understand the long term value of AI because a lot of them are equating with a big cost too. And I know that one of NoviPro's strengths is really helping businesses view AI as an investment rather than a cost. So, how do you help management and leadership teams really recognize that long term value of AI?
Yeah, I think it really starts at, recognizing the investment that they've already made and what clients have built over multiple decades. Because I mean they've built what for in the financial industry probably runs 70% or more of transactions. I mean it's prevalent in the insurance industries, retail. The top businesses in the world are all using this technology. So first and foremost, it's not going away. It's not going away anytime soon. Too much of the world depends on it. But what we're now able to highlight is the fact that these companies have a path forward to modernization that is cost effective now because it's built on AI. It's, as Hussein mentioned earlier, it's orders of magnitude faster in terms of what you can accomplish for relatively modest investments compared to what it would have been previously. So that's kind of at the heart of the conversation we would typically have with a client that's considering where they're placing their bets, where they're going to be moving in the future. We conduct an IT study annually, the NoviPro group, together with Leger. And one of the stats that came out in this year's report, 80% of companies in Canada that we surveyed, and this is both IT leaders as well as business leaders, 80% state that they're making at least one investment in modernization. So I think it's recognized in the marketplace that this is something companies need to do to stay competitive. What's different now is that we just have new tools and new capabilities based on the technology that IBM's developed to be able to have that conversation in a different light than maybe we have in the past. So we're really encouraged with that.
Yeah, and if I can add a bit from the IBM's perspective on that, our vision is from our CEO lead. We are an AI and hybrid cloud company. That's in our DNA. That's where we're going. That's the new IBM. And it's important for us to recognize that as a company, AI is infused in many products. It's going to be every single product will have some sort of AI infused in it because that's where we're going forward. And just to as a statement of this vision, this week we had our premium technical event that's called Tech Exchange in Vegas, and we just announced our newest large language model, Granite 3.0, and it's brand new and it's going forward, and we'll have a 4.0 and then 5.0 most probably. We're not stopping in AI. This is the vision. This is the DNA from IBM, and that's where we're going. We're on a high speed highway, and that's how we're gonna go in the next few months, few years.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. And for so I think the Granite 3.0, that's open source as well.
Open source, absolutely, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah. Well, overall, what both of you are saying, I think that's a great way to approach AI is that long-term strategic advantage. And looking at the future, looking ahead, I'd love to hear your thoughts about what do you think is going to happen as AI continues to evolve. How do you see the NoviPro and IBM partnership adapting to helping businesses stay competitive in the long term?
Yeah, it's a very exciting roadmap forward for sure. One of the areas that I think really intrigues us, and I'll speak for Blair and NoviPro specifically. Aside from the clients that we work with on mainframe, we also work with a great number on IBM's power system platform. So together, the IBM I, or the old AS400, if you want to use an old term, IBM I, AIX operating systems. Seeing what IBM's doing right now in the mainframe space with Code Assistant for Z, we've heard announcements at the same event that Francois just referenced about what they're doing in terms of some of the chip acceleration technology that they're borrowing from mainframe that is going to be made available for the Power Platform to enable some of these AI tools. One of them potentially being a statement of direction for an RPG code assistant, RPG being the predominant development language on the IBM I platform. All of these same value propositions that we've been talking about for mainframe and the path towards modernization and the other ways to really inject new life into a platform that's been so stable in the heart of many, many companies for key applications. That's what excites us as well. And being on this path together with IBM to be able to bring these technologies to our client set, it's really exciting to us.
Absolutely, and last word on the IBM side. As I stated before, we're on this highway now. We're going forward. AI is part of our DNA. We're going to continue developing new products, new offerings, and obviously, as soon as we've got something available, our partner can use it. Our partner can go in the marketplace, market this. We can go together at a customer, talk about these solutions, implement, do POCs. All of that is available to all of our partners, and especially NoviPro Group here in Canada.
Thank you. Thank you so much for putting the lights on NoviPro's strategic vision and IBM's and the technical power of watsonx code assistant for Z. It's really clear, as I mentioned before, that the NoviPro group, with its ecosystem approach and strong collaboration with IBM, plays that vital role in modernizing critical infrastructures across North America. Their strategic positioning combined with the power of watsonx code assistant for Z is really helping businesses breathe new life into legacy mainframe systems and future proofing their operations. So don't forget to subscribe to the Lights on Data show for upcoming episodes, and be sure to explore NoviPro's website at novipro.com for more insights into their solutions. Keep an eye out on future webinars and events where you can also learn even more about how NoviPro and IBM are transforming the landscape of business modernization. Until next time, let's keep putting the lights on data.